We're not trying to take some, approach where it's this draft or bust. I think for us, it's going to be, and I talked about this when we took over. I think my job is to make sure that our organization makes a series of good decisions, and I think when you do that over time, with a good plan and strategy and alignment amongst your staffs, you're going to be good in this league. And I think we've seen that in our division. The teams that we play against have all been together a long time and have their systems very ripe. That's where we're heading towards. And so this is going to be a draft that moves us forward a lot because we effectively have a double draft through the first couple rounds. And we're also picking high. But that said, we also understand we're going to have to develop the players that come in. As we move forward, we will have a draft class next year that will also contribute heavily towards our success long term. And we need to continue stacking successful drafts on top of each other for us to get where we need to go.
CT, that was Cleveland executive Sashi Brown explaining the Browns' approach to the draft, which starts in 8 days, if you can believe it. The Browns and Niners hold the top 2 picks in the draft. In general, which team is more desperate to find a quarterback somewhere in this draft? When you look at what Cleveland currently has, Kessler, Hogan, and Osweiler. We don't know how much longer they'll have Osweiler.
Right.
The Niners got Hoyer and Barkley. So, who's more desperate?
Well, when you look at the Browns, Kessler is a guy they just drafted in 2016 with a 3rd-round pick, and then Brock Osweiler is a guy who's a project.
Yes.
But he certainly has shown that he can get some W's.
But he's an expensive project.
He is an expensive project. That's why the Houston Texans wanted to part ways with him, obviously. But when you look at Brian Hoyer and Matt Barkley, those guys certainly not going to get it done. When you think
Bears cast-offs.
Absolutely.
Right?
When you think of the 49ers and you think of the Cleveland Browns, which one of those teams do you associate winning with more?
Niners.
That would be the San Francisco 49ers. So that would be the answer to this very question. Kyle Shanahan coming over from the Atlanta Falcons, the offensive coordinator there. He just went to the Super Bowl. So when you get signed up with the San Francisco 49ers, they are expecting you to rebuild this organization and get them back to the Super Bowl. That's what they do there in San Francisco. That's what Jim Harbaugh did when he was in San Francisco. And of course, we can go back to the Joe Montana days, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, when they went to the Super Bowl. So they don't have a lot of talent around the quarterback there in San Francisco, but Kyle Shanahan is known as an offensive guy. He did some great things with Matt Ryan, did some great things with Kirk Cousins. There was some talks and some buzz about maybe he was going to try to get Kirk Cousins, right, to go to San Francisco. So the 49ers are the team that's more desperate. When you look at the Cleveland Browns, we kind of expect Cleveland to struggle. Period. And they have a ton of draft picks. When you look at 17 and 18, they have a total of 10 picks in the first 3 rounds in those 2 years. So they have a lot of draft picks to work with. So I'll roll with San Francisco.
So maybe, are you telling me that neither team could draft a quarterback? They might not have to draft a quarterback because you could look at Sam Darnold next year at SC, maybe even a Josh Rosen at UCLA and go, if we don't like the quarterbacks in this draft, because a lot of people think that this is a weak quarterback class, why reach and stretch? We've already got 3 in the roster in Cleveland. You do have 2 in San Fran. You would think they'd have to pick up a 3rd somewhere. That maybe we don't force the issue this year, and everybody thinks we're going to draft a quarterback, but maybe that's not necessarily the case.
Well, I think they will.
Both?
I think they probably will both at some point because Cleveland has so many picks and San Francisco needs a quarterback. San Francisco is the most desperate team, and I'm with you. I don't think there is a franchise guy, but at some point when you need a quarterback like both of these teams do, you take a flyer if it's at 12 for the Cleveland Browns.
They've been taking a flyer since 1999.
Yeah,
since Tim Couch.
You said it before, right? You keep on casting that.
Just keep fishing.
Keep it on. See if you can get one. Both teams need one. San Francisco needs one the most.
Agreed. We'll find out if they can get it done. I'm with you. Both these teams are desperate for quarterback play. If you've got to reach, I will never get on Sashi Brown. I'll never get on Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch out there in San Francisco, their hierarchy. I won't get on those teams if they feel like we've got to take a reach and maybe draft a little bit higher than we think because it is the most important position, obviously, in the game. That's why you keep reach until you get one.
We will see how it all plays out.